Hello everybody, this is Frank the Tank coming at you with a Q&A video. So I've never had to do one of these and I don't know if I'm going to be crappy at it or good at it, but please bear with me. I'll try to do the best that I can in answering these questions. So let's not waste any time and let's just dig into the questions. Question number 1 comes from Wei Z. Do you have a full-time job? Congrats again. Thank you for that, and full-time job is something that I actually do not have at the moment. I am actually working two part-time jobs. Part-time job number 1 is I work on the weekends as a receptionist in a retirement community, and part-time job number 2 is I work with my father. He has his own handyman business, so yeah, I work with him in that. And question number 2, also from Wazy, how did you find a pro shop guy you can trust to drill your balls? Had a pretty subpar experience with mine. Well, I can honestly tell you that I got lucky that I even have a pro shop guy that is actually good at what he does. Yeah, his work ethic, his quality, his attention to detail is all 11 out of 10. But I will tell you, in order to determine that he was actually like a good, trustworthy, and reliable, pro shop guy, I did go to some of the other pro shops that are, in my area, and I didn't see, how they compared to him, and that's how I was able to determine that he was the guy that I could trust with my stuff, that I know he will do a good job. And also, when I have a question that I need answered in terms of the sport of bowling, he always has the answer. So yeah, I guess you could say that I got very, very lucky that I even have a pro shop guy in my area that's actually pretty good. So yeah, that's how I was able to figure out, that he was good at what he does. Connor Hagerman with his question, will you ever do a giveaway? Congrats. Thank you, Connor. And as for a giveaway, I'm not sure that I will ever be able to do it at anytime soon. I know maybe if this thing really takes off, I could do like a giveaway at some point. But yeah, I don't have anything to give away at the moment. So yeah, giveaway not gonna happen anytime soon. Claudio Z with a couple of questions. Question number 1 from Claudio is, where do you get your bowling jersey from? The bowling jersey that you see me wearing in this video, I got it from high5gear.com. If you want a bowling jersey like that, that is where you want to go, high5gear.com. They have options where you can customize your own jersey, your own colors and stuff like that, add your own name to it. Also, if you have if you see like a jersey from a professional bowler that you really, really like and you want to own that jersey, they do have options for replicas as well. You can add your own name on that jersey, or you can have it the way they have it with their name on the back. It's your choice, but yeah, that's where you go, high5gear.com. The second question from Claudio Z, how do you deep clean your bowling balls? I don't deep clean my bowling balls, I'll tell you that right now. And usually what I do is I just give it like a simple cleaning, after league night or after every practice session, I just take a regular ball cleaner or one of those like little wipes that they have on, I don't even know what they're called, but they're like wipes that have that chemical stuff, that ball cleaner chemical stuff on it. I just take that and I wipe off all the scuff marks and all the dried oil that's on it, because I don't have the patience to deep clean a bowling ball. Usually when I want like a bowling ball like really, really clean and restored back to the way it was like if you just got out of the box, and I usually just take it to my pro shop guy for that. But yeah, I don't deep clean my bowling balls, so yeah, I'm sorry about that. And the last question from Claudio Z is, do you have social media? If not, you should make one. Sorry I'm commenting so many questions, just curious because you're definitely one of my favorite YouTubers and I want to share some things with you, and it's easier on social media. Well, I'm way ahead of you on that, Claudio Z, and thank you for calling me one of your favorite YouTubers. You don't hear that too often, especially I didn't think I'd ever hear something like that. But anyway, yeah, I'm way ahead of you on the whole social media thing. while I was, on my rise to 1,000 subs, I was slowly realizing why social media is very important today. I was, at first I thought it was a dumb idea to have social media. Like, I didn't need it. I didn't think it was necessary, but I realize now why it is important. So yeah, I'm letting you guys know right now that I have created an Instagram, Twitter, I have a Discord server now, I have a Patreon, I have the whole shebang now. And if you guys want, the links to all those are down in the description below, but if you don't want to click on those at the moment, you can wait till the very end of the video. I'll have all that stuff on my outro page. Luizinho's question is, why don't you do a video with a sports pattern so as to demonstrate how to bowl on it? Hyper Games also with the question, do you bowl on sports patterns at all? To answer both of these in one, I've never bowled on a sports pattern, although I really, really do want to. And why I haven't is because the places that I go to, I know for a fact that they don't have that option to lay out sports patterns. And also because I know they don't want to. I mean, like, you see, you have to look at it this way from their point of view. Why would they lay out a sports pattern for somebody who's probably only going to bowl on it for like an hour or two, and then that's it? It's just in their eyes, it's just a waste. So yeah, I can see why they probably wouldn't. However, I would love to do it. So maybe I can ask my pro shop guy if he can point me in the right direction. Like if maybe there is a place that allows sports patterns, because I know for a fact that the places that I go to don't allow that option, and they don't have that option anyways, even if they did. But yeah, my pro shop guy always has the answer to everything, so I'm sure he can probably come up with the answer to that one. I'll ask him when I get the chance. So these next three individuals all in a way have questions that are connected with each other. So I'll attempt to answer them with one. So check this out. Honey and Remington Lowry both asked how they can increase their RPMs. And also Finny Rex question connects in a way because it says, it's kind of difficult for me to keep my hand under the ball during my downswing. Any tips? Okay, you three. So this is how I'm going to answer this question. I want you guys to try out this foul line drill. But before I show you this foul line drill, Honey and Remington, I'm going to tell you right now, the key to getting more RPMs is this. Take a look at this clip of Jason Belmonte. Look right there, okay? You see how his hand is behind the ball? That right there is him cupping his wrist. That is the key to getting more revs, all right? Keeping your hand behind the ball, and then look at how it unravels itself from the ball. Look at his hand. You see that? That is how he does it. He cups the wrist. So obviously that's probably going to lead to the next issue, and that is keeping your hand behind the ball. So that leads me to answering your question, Findirect, keeping your hand behind the ball during your downswing. So here's what I want you guys to try. Okay, so this idea for a foul line drill I actually got from professional bowler Verity Crawley. I saw this video of her doing this thing where she walks up to the foul line and assumes the position where she's about to release the ball, as you can see, like that. So yeah, that's what I want you guys to do. So if you see me here in this clip right here, I go up to the foul line and I assume that position where I'm about to release the ball. And as you can see, I've got the wrist cupped. And what I want you guys to really do here is, I don't want you to just do it. I want you to really get the feel for what it feels like to have that wrist cupped and what it's like when it's coming off of the ball is coming off of your hand. That's what I mainly want you to do, because remember, when you are learning to bowl, you are learning through feel, okay? Whether you have a coach or not, you learn through feel. That's how you do it. That's how I did it. So it really worked for me. I will warn you that don't expect results immediately, so please don't frustrate yourselves. Don't get angry. It is going to pay off, okay? And I will say this kind of thing is a little bit difficult, so it will take a little bit of time to learn. Please have some patience. You will get it. I know I did, and as you can clearly see, me being a person not having been coached or anything like that, it worked. So I'm letting you know now that it is possible. And once you feel like you've really gotten the hang of cupping the wrist, here's something that I kind of want you to try. So I want you to kind of move pretty close to from where you step. I usually step on the second set of dots, as you can see me pointing it out. What I want you to do once you've gotten the hang of that whole cupping the wrist thing, move forward a little bit so that way you have a lot less space for your approach. Doing this will make you want to slow down on your approach. Slowing down will obviously allow you more time to really get the feel for your not only cupping the wrist that whole cup in the wrist thing, but for your whole approach as well. So be sure you give that a shot. I hope it works. I'm sorry if it doesn't, but I tried my best. This next question comes from QnA. How did you learn two-handed bowling? I started about 5 months ago and I think I'm stuck because nobody is two-handed in my area that could teach me or give me feedback. Well, QnA, I'll let you know you are not alone with that. When I first started out, and even to this day, I had and still don't have anybody to teach me or give me feedback. The only thing I had was my camera, the internet, and my viewers who were nice enough to give me those, feedback and to, point out things that I was missing and what I could do to correct stuff and, things like that. But, mainly, yeah, I didn't have any coaching or anybody like in person to give me feedback. So the way I learned was, I will say, not the greatest of way to learn, but it worked for me, luckily. I had my video camera always set up when I went to the bowling alley to, train myself in learning this two-handed style. And then after I was done, I would take my footage home and I would put it into my laptop. And then what I would do is I would look at a video of Jason Belmonte and I would compare his approach and his release to mine, and I would see what would be missing from that and what I was doing wrong, and then I would, work on that the next time I went back to the bowling alley. It took quite a bit of time for me to learn because I was doing it that way, but it worked out in the end, and now here I am, and as you can see, it really worked. So that is how I learned. White Shadows with the question, since you have all these balls, do you mind telling me whether this is a good arsenal for me? My speed is about the same as yours, just my revs may be higher, 420 RPM. This is the arsenal that I have in mind. Pro Motion, Idle Pearl, IQ Tour Solid, High Road, Fever Pitch, and 1 spare ball. Now, I'm going to tell you the 100% truth. I'm not going to try to say anything to make you feel better or anything like that, but I will tell you that is a great arsenal, my friend. That's actually, you covered all the bases of a basic arsenal. So, yeah, spare ball, you got to have one, always. I don't care what anybody says, you got to always have a spare ball. Jason Belmonte never leaves home without his spare ball. So, yeah, spare ball, very important. And then, of course, you have urethane. Belmo himself has said that he always carries urethane in his bag, and I can see why. I mean, it comes in handy when you really need to play the lanes, in a down and in kind of, way. Urethane can definitely do that for you. The Fever Pitch, I don't know. I mean, it's a great ball, don't get me wrong, but I would have preferred the Pitch Black because the Fever Pitch has a little more reaction than the Pitch Black, but hey, Fever Pitch is just as good. And then, of course, probably one of the best benchmark balls in the Storm line, the IQ Tour Solid. You could definitely use that. So it's a very, very good option. And then, of course, step up from that is your Idle Pearl and High Road. So that is like your, I would say, upper mid performance balls. So you definitely have that base covered in case you need a little more reaction. And then, of course, your highest performing ball being the Pro Motion. So yeah, you definitely covered all the bases. Your low being a spare ball and your Fever Pitch, your middle being your IQ Tour Solid, your upper mid being your High Road and your Idle Pearl, and then obviously your highest performing ball, Pro Motion. So yes, you're on the right track, my friend. Good job on that, on those choices. Salvador Delatorre asks, what's your favorite ball to use? As of right now, I can tell you it's the IQ Tour Emerald, mainly because it's yielded the best results for me in League, and also because it's green, and those who have known me a long time know that my favorite color is green. So, yeah, IQ Tour Emerald, my favorite ball. Gus K asks, do you ever practice spare shooting only? Indeed I do, my friend. Indeed I do. I'm not going to lie to you when I tell you that I used to go to the bowling alley and just try to bowl for high scores, just try to get strikes, and that is not the way to do it. Yeah, over the past couple of months, what I've been doing is I've actually, included spare shooting, a spare practice, I guess, in my, hour-long, practice session. And then the rest of the stuff I would work on balance and, release and all that stuff. But yeah, I do actually spare shooting. What I would do though, my method probably isn't the greatest, but I will tell you what I usually do is I take a house ball and I just toss it down the lane, and whatever pin was left standing or pins, I would just practice shooting at that. And one other thing that I did was I would carry a notebook and like a pen or something, and I took this one out of Lindsay Boomershine's book, like to have like a piece of paper and a pen to write down where you are sliding and where the ball is passing through the arrows and where you are standing before you start moving. So that's what I do when I'm practicing my spares, and it's worked out for me pretty well. I mean, I still miss some spares every now and then, but believe me, yes, I do practice my spare shooting. Okay, Gus K's next question is, what is your personal record on a 3-game match during league night? This here is my personal best. Take a look. It's a 629 series. I know it's not pretty high. I know it's no 700 or 800, but you know, I when it comes to league night, I am like, you know, I guess you could say a choker. Like, I don't, you know, really show up, if you know what I mean, when it comes to league night. I suffer from what we like to call nervousness. So yeah, but this is my best. 629. I picked up a 205 in game 1 and a 221 in game 2. And in game 3, I finished it off with a 203 using the IQ Tour Emerald. Again, IQ Tour Emerald, that is why it is my favorite ball. It got me my highest series in league. And Gus K's last question is, are you going to open up an Instagram account as well? Would like to follow you there. Gus K, I will let you know right now that you and Claudio Z were both pretty much what played in my decision to open up an Instagram account. So yes, I do now have an Instagram account, and like I said, the link is in the description if you want to go check out my Instagram account. If you don't want to click on it now, like I said, you can wait until you get to the very end of the video on my outro page. Okay, so this next question is the big golden one, because I know a lot of you are just dying to know the answer to this question. Where did you find the Belmo spare balls? The answer to that question is I found them on eBay, both the white one and the black one, believe it or not. No, I didn't have some secret connections to Storm. No, I didn't know anybody who illegally made it or something like that. No, I just found them both on eBay. I was very fortunate to find them both on eBay. So I will tell you right now that the white one has actually shown up on eBay throughout this entire 2019 year about 9 or 10 times, and out of those 9 or 10 times, only 2 or 3 of them showed up in mint condition, without a scratch, without them being drilled. And only one of them actually had its original box. And yeah, I was lucky enough to get one in mint condition until, you know, I drilled it and used it, which I know irritated a lot of people, because I know a lot of people out there feel I shouldn't have used it and should have just kept it on display. But luckily I was able to acquire the black one as well, as by some freaking luck, because I will tell you right now, that black one that I have right now that you guys have seen is the only one to pop up on eBay this entire year. Can you believe that? How lucky am I? So yeah, the black one, that kind of shows you how impossible it is to even try to acquire it, because it's one of those golden treasures that nobody would dare to even sell unless they really were desperate for cash. So yeah, that's how I got them. There you go. Question answered. eBay. So if you guys want one of these, hop on eBay and hope that one pops up at someday. This next question comes from Izuddin Fadzil. I hope I got that right. How to be a good two-handed bowler. What style did you prefer to bowl if two-handed? Can you make tutorial for two-handed style? I'm not really quite sure how to answer this question, because the grammar wasn't that great, and I'm gonna assume that your English is probably not that great, which is okay. Don't worry, I'm not making fun of you or anything. But as for making a tutorial for the two-handed style, I will be doing that, but the thing is that I haven't 100% got the two-handed style down, and once I've got it 100%, I will make that tutorial, because you see, I don't feel comfortable making a tutorial if I haven't 100% learned everything. Otherwise, I feel like I'd be teaching you something that is not completely correct. So once I've got it 100%, I will teach you everything that I know. And then, what style did you prefer to bowl if two-handed? I'm not sure what you mean by that. I'm gonna assume you mean what other style would I have preferred to bowl if I couldn't do the two-handed style, so I'm gonna answer it that way. Obviously, in the one-handed category, there's 4 different styles. There's cranker, stroker, tweener, and I don't even know what else, but I would have tried out for the cranker style, because obviously being a cranker means you get high revs as well. I mean, look at EJ Tackett. That dude is a perfect example of what a cranker one-handed bowler is, and he can play every part of the lane because of it. So yeah, I would definitely become a cranker one-handed bowler if I put that correctly. But yeah, that's what I would have done. And then how to be a good two-handed bowler: practice, practice, practice. That's all I can really say. I mean, is there really any other way? Not really. Just practice, really. Oh, and take a video camera with you, because obviously, unless you have like an expert that can like right there with you that can give you that feedback or those tips, obviously the only person that you have is yourself, and the only way you're going to be able to really know what you're doing is by taking a video camera and recording yourself. This next question comes from a guy whose name I cannot pronounce, and I'm very sorry for that, but I'll go ahead and I'll read your question. Perhaps some tips on the approach/release part. And also, do you feel that the sleeve helps you a lot? I think you spoke about it shortly in one of your videos, but since you improved a lot, I thought, why not ask your opinion now? Well, the tips on the approach release part, I'll save that for the tutorial, my friend. And as for the whole power sleeve thing, I will tell you right now that it does help, because, you know, obviously when you have your arm compressed, it really helps, like, you know, like you have more control on your arm. Kind of like, say, like if you were holding a gun and it was very lightweight, obviously you're not going to be able to aim that well, because, you know, you have no weight to, you know, even things out when you're aiming. And then, like, that's what it's like. And when you have a gun that has weight on it, obviously you're going to have better aim. So yeah, I know that's probably not the greatest of comparisons, but yeah, that's what I would say. Compression sleeve thing really helped me. And now here we are, and I can honestly say that I don't really bowl with it anymore. And I know, as you can see me in this video, that power sleeve that I have on, it doesn't compress my arm whatsoever. I will tell you that right now. And I don't know why Jason Belmonte wears that, because that compression arm sleeve thing that you see on my arm right now, that's the one that Belmo wears on his arm. And I can tell you right now that I feel like he wears it just for show, because I don't feel that thing compressing my arm whatsoever. And yeah, I just have it there because it goes along with the jersey and it looks cool. But yeah, I can bowl without it, and I will say that it did help me in my like while I was in the learning stages of getting this two-handed style down. Jorgen Christensen asks, where do you get your bowling balls from? Well, Jorgen, I will tell you right now that I used to get all my stuff from bowling.com, because they have great discounts and deals and stuff like that. But now I get all my stuff from eBay. The reason for that is because, one, you can see a picture of the bowling ball that you're about to buy before you buy it. And number two, most of the listings usually have like free shipping compared to all the other bowling websites where they charge you for the shipping and the tax, which is like another $10+. So like, say the Astrophysics, for example, it's $174 right now. And since all these bowling websites charge for the shipping and the tax, that's like an extra $10+. So technically you could be paying somewhere like to $185, maybe to $190 for that Astrophysics. Whereas if you buy it on eBay, where some of these listings have free shipping, you'll probably only be paying for the tax, which means you'll only be paying maybe $179, $180. So I'd rather pay $5 for tax than to pay for like $12, $13 for shipping and tax. Another thing about eBay is that most of these listings are like, you know, bidding instead of buy it now. So that means that you could get that bowling ball for a much lower price than compared to what like the average price is. See, for example, the IQ Tour Solid that I recently reviewed, I got it for like 110, whereas it's actually like 130 plus the tax, which could be like 135. So yeah, that's the beauty of eBay. So that's why I get all my stuff from eBay now. This next question comes from Emmett Campbell. Why don't pros use plastic equipment during tough periods of the game where the pattern is hard to figure out? It always provides a smooth, consistent reaction and can be thrown directly at the 1-3 pocket and strike a lot. Well, Emmett, that is a very good question / point that you have there. I'm not sure. I'm not a pro. I can't answer that question, but I will tell you that that is something that I do myself. Like when I struggle and I can't strike or I can't find my line to the pocket, I whip out that plastic ball because at least now I've, increased my chances of at least making it to the pocket. Yeah, I know it's a cheapy tactic to whip out your plastic ball and just go straight, but I'm not really sure, and that's a question that I actually want to know myself. Maybe I can ask my pro shop guy because he is an actual PBA member. Like he's actually competed in several PBA events as well, and he's met all these pros too. He's met Rhino Page, he's met Belmo, he's met Sean Rash, Pete Weber, all of them. He's met them all. So maybe I can ask him that question, and maybe he will be able to come up with the answer as to why pros just don't whip out that plastic equipment during tough periods of the game. The next question comes from Miguel Santana. How much would you be willing to take if you were selling the used black Belmo? I'm not sure, and I'm not going to tell you right now how much I paid for both the white and the black one. And I know just by saying that, you guys can tell probably that I spent like a whole bunch. But anyway, honestly, I don't know, but I'm going to do the smart thing and not sell them. However, if I were going to sell them, I would definitely sell them higher for what I bought them for. And I will tell you right now, the white one, I remember there was a listing on eBay sometime this year where it was in mint condition, and it was the white ball. It was in mint condition, no scratches. It was brand spanking new with its original box, and it sold instantly for $1,000. So if that's what that thing sells for, imagine what the black one would be worth. So because it's been drilled into by the previous owner and it's been plugged as well, because the previous owner had the thumb hole put into there and then he plugged it. So I honestly don't know. I'd probably ask somewhere between 800 to 1,000 probably, but like I said, I would do the smart thing and not sell it, and I'm gonna keep it. But however, if I really did hit rock bottom and I needed cash, I'd probably sell it, but I'd do the smart thing and wait a few years, because obviously the longer I wait, the more it is worth. So yeah, that's probably what I would ask for. And I know some of you are probably going to think 800 to 1,000 is a bit outrageous, but this ball is a treasure. It's rare, at least in the bowling world. So yeah. Anti-Hapanin asks, is it easier to bowl with two hands than one hand? Well, I can tell you right now, based on my own experience from being from starting out bowling with one hand and then making the transition to the two hand, yes, it is easy for me, at least for me. Remember, I don't know what it'd be like for everybody else. Remember, everybody's different, but for me personally, yes, it is so much easier and so much funner, because all I can tell you right now is when I bowled with one hand is, I was always uncomfortable. I could never, everything was just wrong. And every time I stepped up to bowl, like to take my shot, I would always be asking myself, all right, I'm going to throw this ball. I wonder where it's going to end up on the lane. I could never have control over my shot. I never had any confidence. And then when I made the switch to two-handed, I felt a lot better. I felt a lot more confident. I knew what I wanted to do with the ball, where I wanted to play it. It just, it really made it better. And one big thing I can tell you right now is when I was bowling with one hand and I was in league, I was averaging 120. And then when I made the switch to two-hand, that went all the way up to what I have now, which is 181. So yeah, very big difference. It definitely made the difference for me. Two-handed bowling is better and easier for me. So yeah. Youssef Dardair asks, can you throw the Idol and or Idol Pro? Unless I can find somebody that lets me borrow it, or if I can find it really, really cheap, I'm going to have to hit you with a no on that one, because those two bowling balls were bowling balls that I never was planning on buying anyway, and it's something that never really got my interest. And I'm letting you know now that every bowling ball that I bought and reviewed on my YouTube channel, these are bowling balls that I got for myself because I wanted to have them, but because I'm actually going to use them. So if I bought the Idol or Idol Pro, then chances are I'm going to use them and once or twice, and then they're probably going to end up in the back of my closet, never to be used again, because they're not bowling balls that I favor or, really am gravitating towards. So yeah, I'm sorry about that one, but I mean, I do have the Idol Pearl that I have thrown, but other than that, really, I'm sorry. I'm not really going for the Idol or Idol Pro unless I can find it cheap, or if I can find somebody that lets me borrow it or something like that. Okay, this next question comes from Kadeen Brabender. What do you say to people who are against two-handed bowling? Well, Kadeen, I'm going to be totally honest with you. I would do the smart thing and say absolutely nothing because, you know, two-handed bowling is not illegal. It's not in the rule book. As long as your equipment is legal and as long as you are not crossing over that foul line, it's totally legal. And I'm fully aware that two-handed bowling has its advantages over a one-handed bowler. And I'm fully aware that there are people out there that say that two-handed bowling is a travesty, that it's cheating, it's bad for the sport, and I honestly don't care what those people have, like, I don't care what they say. I mean, it's legal, so why say anything to them if I'm not cheating? It's totally legal, you know, and if I actually had somebody come up to me and tell me that two-handed bowling is cheating or it's stupid or, you know, it ruins the sport, then I honestly wouldn't care. Why say anything if it's legal, right? So, I mean, if anything, that kind of thing would fire me up to play way better because, you know, I don't know about you guys, but for me personally, there is no better feeling in the world than shutting up all the haters and all the smack talkers by doing what I do. And, you know, all this negativity, all this criticism about two-handed bowling, it's not, they can go ahead and say as much as they want. I could care less. It's not going to change who I am or what I do. Okay, this next question is also from Kadeen Brabender. Will you use balls that aren't Storm? Well, let's just get this out of the way first off, alright? And I think it's blatantly obvious that Storm bowling balls are my favorite. And even though they are my favorite, Storm bowling balls are my favorite, that doesn't mean that I can't use stuff from other brands, especially because I'm not under contract, so I'm totally open to using whatever the heck I want. But the problem with that is that, you see, if I were to buy a bowling ball from another brand, the only time I would ever use it is to make like a ball review, and then that's it. Chances are it would end up at the back of my closet, never to be used again. You see, all these bowling balls that I have reviewed on my channel are bowling balls that I have wanted for myself, for my arsenal, that I want to use for practice and for league. So that, you know, I don't just buy the bowling ball and then use it for a video and then throw it in the back of the closet. No, these are bowling balls that I'm going to review for a video and then use for practice and also for competitions. So that's why I'm not really buying any other bowling ball from any other brand. Every bowling ball that you guys have seen on my channel are bowling balls for my arsenal, stuff that I'm actually going to use time and time again. But, you know, I'm not completely ruling out the fact that I'll use stuff from other brands here. I'm totally open to doing that, but, you know, I would have to find out what to do with that bowling ball after I'm done using it because, you know, I don't like the idea of just buying a bowling ball and then just, you know, wasting $100+ on a bowling ball and then just, you know, using it for a video or like, you know, for a couple of games and then tossing it into the back of my closet, never to be used or never to be seen again. So this next question comes from Snike Gamer. Any tips on increasing speed for two-handed bowling? Absolutely, there are some tips I can give you. Now, there are a couple of things that play a factor in how you can increase your speed, but I'm only going to give you the main one. So the main tip on increasing speed is in your legs. The legs, like how quickly you move with your legs, plays the main factor in your speed. So take a look at this clip right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stand in my usual spot on the second set of dots, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of like slow down, and you're going to see, watch, take a look right here. So as you notice there, I kind of slowed down a bit. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you the speed here. Take a look. So as you can see on the monitor, this isn't accurate speed, but as you can see there, 12.7 from slowing down. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the shot again, but this time you're going to notice I'm going to pick up the speed, like I'm really going to pick up the pace on my legs. So take a look at this one right here. Okay, as you can see, I'm standing in the same spot, but I'm going to pick up the pace. And also, what I really did there as well, apart from picking up the pace, is I really, got a little more aggressive with my arm swing. And as you can see here, take a look at the big difference right there. Look at that, from 12 to 15.4. So there you go. That is how you can increase your speed. Really pick up the pace on your legs. and also, really get aggressive with that arm swing, but not too much because obviously, you don't want to lose control of, where you're putting down the ball, and you don't want it to like end up in the wrong spot or even worse in the gutter. But yeah, that is the main tip I can give you. Pick up the pace on that leg speed. Over the Line asks, do you have the intention of going pro someday? And if so, what training regimen are you doing to accomplish that? Well, I will tell you that it would be a pretty awesome thing if I could go pro, but I don't really know if I'm quite there yet. And I don't know if it's like a seriously main intention that I have to go pro. Although, like I said, it would be awesome to do that. And as for a training regimen, I don't really have like a big old training thing to to accomplish that. But all I can tell you is that what I do right now is every week I usually go to the bowling alley like maybe 2 days a week, league being the third day of the week also. But yeah, apart from league, I usually go to the bowling alley sometimes 2 days a week, and I practice for about an hour and a half. And I would usually work on like balance at the foul line. I would work on, things that I'm still having trouble with. I would work on, getting the ball to roll out further. I would work on, my spares obviously being the most important thing. But yeah, I don't really have like a serious training regimen or anything like that. And then also, if I knew that I could make it up there, like at the pro level, then I would definitely like start upping my game big time. But right now, like I'm just like at a pretty average training regimen, I guess. Like I said, 1 to 2 days at the bowling alley, practicing spares, balance, my approach, my release, and then as for like working out, I don't really have like a serious like working out routine. Like all I do is I have like one of those exercise bikes and here in my house, and I usually run like 1.5 miles on it. And I usually do it in under like 7-8 minutes, and then I don't really lift all that much, but yeah, I don't, like I said, if I did go pro, I would definitely change all that. I would practice a lot more. I would definitely start working out a little more to keep up that strength, because obviously, as you guys can see, bowling today is completely different than it was back then, and you can see a lot of these guys are really working out to stay in shape. Like players like Marshall Kent and AJ Johnson, they go to the gym a lot. Danielle McEwen, she's also going to the gym a lot, staying in shape. So yeah, that's as of right now, all I can say is I don't have like anything serious going on, but it would be cool to go pro, and if I did go pro, I would definitely start upping my game. This next question comes from Kenny is Hungry. Do you have any tips on sliding? I have a problem where I plant my foot on the last step. Well, Kenny, I will tell you right now that this is a very common problem with a lot of people who are learning two-handed bowling. And I've kind of seen this a lot more with two-handed bowlers than I've seen it with one-handed bowlers, where they plant on that last step instead of sliding. So here is a drill that you can try. I'm not sure if it's the most foolproof of drills, but I basically took a page out of Shannon O'Keefe and Verity Crawley's book and tried this myself. So yeah, what I did was I went up about this far, as you can see, like just enough to where you can get the skip step and the slide in there. And yeah, as you can see there, I took it real slow, and yeah, I basically just took it real slow and put the slide into it. And I will say that it's not easy for me to try to teach this because for one, when I learned, I was lucky enough to slide like naturally. I was never one to like plant my foot, so yeah, I never had to really worry about that. But yeah, you try this yourself. Like yeah, you see that, set yourself up and then basically kind of almost walk your way into it, and yeah, skip and then slide. So I hope that that'll probably help you. I know it's probably not the most foolproof of drills, but yeah, take it slow, be patient, don't frustrate yourself, don't rush yourself, but try it out. Yeah, walk up about that far. I don't know how far that is, and basically yeah, just enough to get that hop step and that slide in there. So yeah, set yourself up, skip and slide. So as you can see with a couple of these, I struggled with it, so I do warn you that you are going to fall off balance and it is going to feel real awkward at first, but the more you do it, the more like you're going to get used to it, the more you get into it. I promise you that, because take a look. As you can see, some of those were pretty awkward looking. I fell off balance a little, and then as you can see, it started to actually work. I actually started to get I actually started to post my shot a little bit better. My balance started to get a little better. And this is one thing that I also learned by doing this drill, is that not only was I getting the slide in there, but I was also getting better balance at the foul line. So try this drill out. I hope it works for you. And I'm sorry if it doesn't, but I tried my best. I'm not really the best at when it comes to teaching stuff to people. The last question of the day comes from Gizmo Khan Gunpla. Question: what's a good way to learn and practice the two-handed method? I tried many times to hook with traditional throwing and never felt comfortable. I've tried two hands and it felt really comfortable and have been able to produce a hook with this method. The only issue is I don't really have control on much, or a little I can put into it, and I feel like my throws are inconsistent. Love the channel. Well, I'm going to assume, based on your question and what you put into that, is you're having problems with control and consistency. So the way you can really get better control and consistency is this. Take a look at this clip of me from months ago. This is when I wasn't doing things 100% correctly. So as you can see, my arm swing is really away from me, I guess you could say. It's really not where it should be. And then not only that, when I'm walking in a straight line from the dots to the foul line, which is not 100% correct. And I noticed two things that I was doing wrong, is that arm swing and the direction I was walking. So if you take a look here, this is how you're supposed to do it. And Gizmo, you need to try this, because this is how you get consistency and control. So number one, you want to tuck your elbow in, as you can see me doing right there. You tuck the elbow in. And number two, you want to be walking to the left. This helps you align yourself better to play the ball, more accurately, if you know what I mean. And then tucking your elbow in, it kind of, this is kind of a little difficult for me to explain, but tucking your elbow in almost kind of helps you get your arm swing in line with your eyes. Because remember, as we all know, your shoulder, your arm is not in line where your eyes are. So in order to get your arm in line with your eyes, you want to tuck that elbow in. So doing this has really helped me play the ball in the same spot more accurately. And I've been able to stay very consistent as a result of it. So try that. Walk to the left and tuck your elbow in. This is something that Jason Beaumonte does. Take a look. See, he tucks his elbow in and then he walks to the left. Try that, because it really, really has helped me out. So I hope that it helps you out. Okay, everybody, that just about wraps it up for this Q&A. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm sorry if I butchered any of the responses. I'm normally not good at talking, and I'm definitely not good at answering questions, so I'm sorry if I didn't answer your question in detail or in some kind of way that you wanted it to be answered. But I tried my best, and it is my first Q&A, to be totally fair, but I'll try to get better with it as I go along. But yeah, again, I'm sorry if I didn't answer your question in the way that you wanted it to be answered, but yeah, that is that. So that's this Q&A. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm Frank the Tank. I will catch you guys in another one. Later.